Welcome back to the Limitless Life podcast, or welcome if you're new here. I'm your host, Brenda Johnston, and this is the place where we dive into the real energetics of business, money, and success without all of the fluff. Today's episode is a part of my legacy series where I have been sitting down with women whose work, leadership, and lived experiences are reshaping how we define success, fulfillment, and longevity in business. And today's guest is somebody incredibly special to me. I have known her, we just realized, for close to 10 years. Her name is Bruna DiCecca. And back when I was still seeing clients in my Guelph office, I remember the day she walked in, within minutes, I just felt like we'd known each other for years. Bruna is the founder of Ritual Beauty and Wellness in Toronto, formerly Ritual Hair, Skin, and Beauty. Mm-hmm. And it's a business that she built over 23 years from pure passion and devotion. And one she ultimately had to burn down and rebuild from the inside out. When COVID hit, everything she'd poured herself into was stripped away overnight, not just the business, but her identity, her rhythm, her nervous system, and her sense of self. And instead of forcing her way back, she did something that most women would have been terrified to do. She listened to a whisper before the whisper became a scream. And through her own healing and reinvention, she discovered modalities, which we will be talking about, that helped her rebuild her energy, her nervous system, and her purpose. Today, Ritual Beauty and Wellness isn't just a clinic, it's a sanctuary. It's a reminder that your body is your compass, and your business is meant to nourish you, not drain the life out of you. So in this conversation, we're diving into the evolution from burnout to embodiment, from identity collapse to clarity, and the powerful truth that she now lives by, which is when you go against your soul, your body will shut you down. So let's get into this. Bruna, welcome to the freaking podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Brenda. Honestly, it's such an honor to finally be here because this conversation I feel has been in the ethers for like 10 years. How long have we been saying I got to get on your podcast?
Literally, this is for me a full circle moment that honestly, and I don't blow smoke up people's bums. This conversation makes my heart very happy.
Me too. And you've been such an immense help and support in my life, both personally and professionally. And like we said, we did start working together in 2017, and you've helped me through some very pivotal moments, especially when I was facing the subconscious blocks of like buying out my ex-partner. So you helped me through that. And then you've also worked with my son, who's a boxer, and he was dealing with some confidence issues getting into the rink. And now he's the third amateur champion in Ontario. Whoop, whoop. So thank you for being part of our journeys, and excited to share my crazy journey with you.
You also need to tell your son that after our conversation, I made the decision to start boxing again.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, what a little inspiration.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's also funny because I literally remember the day. I remember what the room was like, how the lights were, looking at you and being literally looking at you and going, yeah, you're going to be on the podcast one day.
And when I first walked in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you've helped me through so many subconscious blocks and just very pivotal moments, like I said, in my career and with my health and with all the things. And then it was just like a natural progression to have you work with my son when he was dealing with his confidence blocks. So thank you.
Thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. I'm excited to have this conversation. I want to actually go back a little because, as I mentioned, Ritual Beauty and Wellness didn't start as that. But I want to know, so let's go back 23 years. What originally pulled you into the beauty industry? Like, what was it that lit you up about creating a space to help people feel more beautiful?
So my why back in the day, I founded Ritual Beauty Hair Skin Beauty with an ex-business partner of mine, and our why back in the day, 2002 to be exact, was more because growing up we were like the ugly ducklings. Hard to believe.
I was going to say, I find that hard to believe, but okay.
Yeah, but we grew into it. And so we wanted to create a space where it was very unpretentious. We didn't want to make people feel bad about taking care of themselves, and we wanted to like help people start to feel and look good. And I knew that I could not work for anybody else. I've always been like that serial entrepreneur. And we just, two bartenders went out on a whim. We rented a location. We're like, okay, we're going to open up a tanning salon with nails. And that's exactly what we did. We just followed our intuition, and therein grew to be what became like a cult following with Ritual Beauty and Wellness. 6-person tanning salon with first nail bar in Ontario. Then we brought in skin, then we brought in hair and all the things. And we just simply grew from there. So
I didn't even know that that's how that started.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Love this.
Yeah.
But like, it's also interesting because what I love about hearing the origin story is you still built it from pure heart because you were listening to your intuition. You're like, let's just do this.
That's
do it.
That like literally it was just an intuitive nudge that the two of us were synchronistically aligned, and we were like, yeah, we're going to do it. And no business course, no business mentor, just like two bartenders and a dream to like create a future post bartending. And it just grew and grew, and it was amazing. It was an amazing place for like 18 years.
Mm-hmm. And it's also interesting because what most people don't see is that sometimes these beautiful things that we create can start draining us long before we're even willing to admit it. Mm-hmm. So you just said it was a great place for 18 years. And then your body starts whispering and your nervous system was talking. And then COVID happened and everything came to a full stop, which brings us to the next part of your story, which also is a part that most women don't ever want to talk about publicly, right? It's that breakdown before the realignment. So take us back to that time. What was happening for you emotionally and energetically when everything started to kind of
crumble?
Yeah, we'll use that word.
Okay, so right before the pandemic hit, I had just bought out my business partner literally 6 weeks before the world shut down. So I literally refinanced my family home. Here we are. And my business shut down, and my husband's business shut down. So we were both deemed unessential. I owned a spa, he owned a gym. And overnight, we were forced to close. And it was terrifying, basically. Like I had just taken on this huge responsibility, and suddenly everything I built was on pause.
Mm-hmm. When you look back, let's look back like a year or two before COVID. What were some of the red flags you started to kind of see, or maybe that you ignored, knowing that there had to be changes in the business?
So I knew right when I started working with you about 2017 that I was no longer in alignment with my business partner. So that's where there started to be a shift where I didn't feel aligned with her anymore. We weren't on, I was growing spiritually and she was still in that superficial bubble. And we just weren't seeing eye to eye. But it took me a good 2 years to build up the courage to finally say, like, and you know this because I worked with you because of this, to finally build up the courage to say, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need to honor my inner guidance system because working with you is not okay anymore. And then I didn't like the whole superficiality of it. I wanted something more spiritual, more grounded in like helping people from the inside out. And so finally I grew the balls to buy her out. And it was a very arduous and taxing journey just to get to that point. And I thought I was finally free. And now Ritual can finally be what I've always wanted it to be. And then I literally bought her out January 1st, 2020. And 6 weeks later, the world shut down. So here we are.
And you and I have had a brief conversation about our life cycles, especially related to human design. And in our 40s, things happen to kind of redirect us so that in our 50s, we really truly step into our purpose. Now, Does it always feel good? No. Does it usually suck? Yeah.
Suck big time. Like I was like literally, it was such a stressful time, and I was like forced to slow down and like listen to my soul. And it was hard because I was going crazy. Like literally, I literally went crazy. No sugarcoating. I had a dysregulated nervous system. I had anxiety. I had depression. This was in my 50s. I had never experienced anxiety, depression, or any of that. I never even knew what a dysregulated nervous system meant. I was running on fumes, but like it literally stopped me in my tracks. I was like, okay, I'm either going to die or yeah. So I found it very interesting when you said like your 40s prepare you, and then if you're not in alignment, like your 50s, 100% my journey followed that path. 100%.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild when you can recognize it. I always used to feel like, oh, I'm going in my 50s. It's time to slow down. I'm supposed to be retiring. I'm way behind. No, man. I'm just getting
It's such
started.
a societal misconception. Like you're going to be retiring soon. And it's like, no, I think we're finally growing into who we are truly are, because we don't give a rat's ass about how people view us, what they think about us. I think if you don't align with your true purpose, that's when you get the proverbial smackdown. And that's exactly what
100%.
happened to me. So I bought out my business partner. We're open, we're closed. Like the whole COVID thing was a shit show in and of itself. My nervous system was completely dysregulated, completely shot. But I was still operating as ritual hair, skin, beauty. So I was still doing the things that I was accustomed to doing because it was an 18-year business and it was successful. But what I didn't realize is it was her vision, not mine. And so slowly shit started to crumble. Like I had pre-COVID, I had 31 employees. Post-COVID, I had 18. After COVID, we opened the second time around. I literally had 10 team members. And we weren't aligned in the way we thought or the way, I spoke out against the pandemic. I know I was a very big advocate, and I felt like I needed to speak because I needed to let people, the government or whatever, politically, I needed to let them know that it was not okay to deem our industry unessential. So I'm happy that I spoke out. I'm not happy about the ramifications of my actions. And I was angry, and rightfully so. My business and my livelihood was taken from under me. Like think about a two-person income household with two children. One of them is special needs, and not a penny coming through our doors for a whole fucking year. So I got really sick. And then when I was forced to slow down is when I realized this was not my vision. This was hers. The whole beauty, the hair, let me do your balayage. Let's put makeup on your face, but that's not healing the inner body. You know what I mean?
Well, I remember when I first met you, I knew of ritual and I knew what it was. And then I met you and I was like, huh, that's interesting. That doesn't feel like what it's supposed to be.
You were one of the first people to tell me that. You told me that when I first met you, and it was as though you were reading my thoughts. You were so right.
Well, and I'm not normally that, like, I won't normally say things like that, but there was just something about you. I was like, that's not what I was expecting you to tell me, that that's what that business was.
Listen, it was very, very successful. Like I had mentioned earlier, we had a cult following. We were in the trendy King West area, and it worked really well for us, but it wasn't in alignment with my soul's purpose. And I always say that, like, you'll get that proverbial smackdown, like it'll start with a whisper. So for me, it started with like not honoring my voice and staying in that partnership 2 years longer than I had 2 years longer than I had stayed. And so it started with the whisper. And then with post COVID, I wasn't listening. I still kept it as ritual hair, skin, beauty because it was generating revenue. But it was so out of alignment with who I am as a person and what the service offerings I wanted to bring to the forefront, that finally my team walked out on me, and I was just left with a shell of a business, and I was a shell of a human. And so I got the proverbial like universal smackdown.
Like, if you're honest with yourself, looking back now, do you think there was a part of you that was secretly relieved when you were forced to stop and like look at things
Fuck
differently?
yeah. As much as it literally killed me internally, 100%. It cleared the pathway to get rid of the people that were no longer in alignment, the people that we had different belief systems. I couldn't do the superficial thing anymore. It was literally killing me to go down there. Like I was, yeah, 100%.
Hmm. I want
100%.
to talk about the rebuilding now, the birth of ritual beauty and wellness. I call it ritual 2.0
I know a lot of people do.
because it's not just a business. Like when I look at it and what it's become and what you're creating, it really is a sanctuary. So everything stopped. You start realizing things are not in alignment. At what point did you realize I can't rebuild what I had? It has to be different. Like what triggered that decision?
So the nervous system regulation, dysregulation, I was completely shot. Like my nervous system was completely shot after the pandemic and having to like carry the burden of not being in alignment with this business. I literally said to my husband, I cannot do this anymore. Like I can't. I have amazing landlords. I have a great location. I have an amazing lease.
You really do.
A beautiful, yeah, I do. A beautiful space with like free parking in downtown Toronto. That's non-existent. So, and my husband was like, babe, you can't stop now. Like this is your opportunity to like create the spa, the ritual that you've always wanted. You just didn't know how to go about it. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I fucking hate my life. And he's like, no, babe, think about it. Like, let's create what you've always wanted. So in the midst of that whole dysregulation, the day my hair staff walked out, which I was like, they walked out because they hate me. And everybody, like people like you and all my spiritual people are like, no, they're not walking out because they hate you. They're walking out because they are not in alignment with you. They're not supposed to come to the next level. And I didn't realize it was all part of the evolutionary process. So he took me to this place in Woodbridge that no longer exists. I think it was called Elemental. And in at this place, they had these private sensory deprivation tanks. So, like, you know, those float tanks, and then private suites with sauna and cold plunge, which was very, very unheard of 2019, 2020. Like, it wasn't,
Yeah, that wasn't a thing
yeah.
yet.
So he took me there, and I was just like, it was the first time I experienced cold plunge. I'm a sun worshiper. Like, I don't belong in Canada. I love the sun. Everything about me is sunshine. And I was like, I fucking hate the cold. But I literally, we sat in the sauna together, like brainstorming in the midst of this nervous system dysregulation, in the midst of the depths of depression and anxiety. And I sat in the sauna and it just heated me up from inside. And then I did the cold plunge. And I literally lasted 3 minutes, which is unheard of for your first time. And I just sat there and I was like, oh my God, it was the first time that my brain shut off. The monkey mind stopped and I was able to just be in my body. And so I look at Brian and I'm like, babe, this is it. Like, this is it. Coming from a girl that hates the cold, like I was just like blown away. So basically, he took his life savings and he built me the spa that I've always wanted. And we created, like, we were the first private contrast therapy suite, so sauna cold plunge in Toronto. So like there's Othership, and Othership is fabulous. And there's Altea, and they have like everybody has sauna cold plunge, but we were the first of our kind to have just private.
I just you have such a beautiful relationship, the two of you. So that's also been really interesting to watch things flourish, and him being like such a like, no, you're not giving up now.
Well, you know Brian. You've met him on a couple of occasions. Brian is a personal trainer. He owns his own gym, Sweatshop Union, and he's a coach. And he's like a military sergeant at heart. And he would not allow me to like. He's like, give it a try. Just give it a try. This is a clean slate for you. And thankfully, I listened to him because I did it.
Thankfully you did.
I was angry child. I was like, fuck you. I don't want to do this anymore. I hate my life. I hate the business. And he's like, babe, let's just create the ritual you've always wanted. And thank God for him, because I would have just like, if it wasn't for him, and if I had another partner that was like, okay, babe, just shut it down and call it a day, we wouldn't be here right now.
No, and it's also part of your life's work and your purpose. So, I mean, and that's a whole nother conversation. But when you started rebuilding, what were the non-negotiables that you set for yourself, like in your schedule and how you're going to take care of clients and in how you're going to use your energy moving forward?
So the work-life balance has always been a challenge for me. I'm not going to deny that. But one way that I started to utilize the space is by actually taking the time for myself before my day begins to go into that cold plunge begrudgingly, but knowing that when I come out, I'm like stronger. I feel more resilient. I'm more ready to take on the day. So I started to really implement the sauna and the cold plunge. During after we rebuilt it, and then just really taking the time to like pour into my own cup, in the sense like slow mornings, get my boys out the door for school, and like my long meditative walks with my dog, as you do every morning. So just taking that time to really honor thyself. I know it sounds cliche, but like truly, like just grounding in my body. Another thing is we introduced the Brazilian lymphatic drainage massage, which was a complete game changer for me, with helping with my dysregulated nervous system. Like I was on antidepressants, which I was like highly against, and I'm not an advocate. I'm not an advocate for it, but it helped me at a time that I needed it the most. And I would never poo poo on anybody. I used to be that poo poo person, like, oh, what would you need antidepressants? But like, I literally went on it.
Sometimes we need a bridge.
You do. And that's exactly, I think I heard it on a podcast. I don't remember if it was Mel Robbins, whatever, but somebody was saying like, there's no shame in the game. You need that little, and I did. And I gave myself a timeline, and I was like, I will be off by July. Like by my birthday, I will be off. Okay, it took me a couple extra months. But one thing that I truly believe attributed to my healing was the Brazilian lymphatic drainage, the sauna, and the cold plunge. And that's where we built this business from my health journey. And I wanted to implement the modalities that I use to heal and bring it to the masses. And that's exactly what we did.
What was it like when you started? Because you did a massive renovation.
It was big, girl. It was big.
What was that moment like when you started to see it all kind of come together?
It was a very gradual, it was a gradual progression, to be quite honest. Like literally we started, the team walked out May 2023. The reno started happening in August, because it was still a transitional time to figure out like, what do we want to become? Like we still had like the manicures, pedicures, we still had a couple of the aesthetic staff continuing, but like business was like nil. It was just a gradual process. And then slowly but surely, it's so funny the way the universe works. The universe, God, I like to say God, started to put the right people on my path. So then I met the girl who's now my educator for Brazilian lymphatic. She trains my team. I met breath coaches that helped me devise like the little journey in the saunas and that kind of thing. So it's like when you surrender, because like I was so holding on tight to the old modality because it was bringing in money, but it wasn't in alignment. When you surrender, the universe starts to like bring in their little angels, and it just started to progress from there. And it's taken a while. Like I'm not going to deny it. It's taken a while to get to where we're at, but I mean, we've doubled our sales in a year. Like it's good. Like we're in a good place.
Amazing what happens when you start to live your purpose. Fascinating.
Heard that before.
So you said something that so many women really do need to hear, and I kind of alluded to this, is like when you go against your soul, you literally want to shrivel up and die. That is a very bold truth. I feel like it is a very necessary truth. I mean, I lived it in my corporate life. I see so many women living in that space. What do you wish that more women understood about rest and nervous system regulation and living longer for that matter?
So truly, I think first and foremost, as women, we are such highly intuitive beings. And I think that that little voice inside, that little sacral solar plexus voice, if we don't listen to it, that is when shit starts to hit the fan. And so for me, listening to it is essential to my health and my well-being. And you know what? Taking that time to like disconnect from everything and even your children, like there's no shame in the game to kind of just be like, okay, pretend like I'm not here. Like literally pretend like I'm not here. If that means I have to take a 3-hour bubble bath, I'm going to do that. If that means I'm going to go on a 4-hour hike with my dog, I need to honor myself before I can pour into you. So truly listening to that inner guidance system, listening to your intuition, and advocating for yourself. Sometimes you just need to tell everybody, leave me the fuck alone.
It's true.
You have to. You have to. Because otherwise your health will suffer. And then you're no good for yourself. You can't show up for your kids. You can't show up for your staff. You just have to honor thy body, truthfully.
When did you realize that honoring your body wasn't an option? It was literally your lifeline.
When I literally almost died because I was like running on fumes, nervous system dysregulation, mental breakdown, physical, emotional exhaustion. I was literally forced to stop. It wasn't even, it was a non-negotiable. Like there's no non-negotiable. It's like, you're stopping or you're dying. That's it.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Wild.
We have to, yeah, it's sad as women that we have to get to that sometimes.
Yeah, it is. And I would say over 90% of the women I know have had to get there.
And that's why we have ritual. Like not as a say, I'm not trying to like plug.
No.
It's a perfect segue. It is a place to literally disconnect for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and just come back to self. Like, let us nurture you. Let us take care of you. Like, you're in the sauna by yourself. You're listening to either a guided meditation or some nice relaxation music. Like I can't explain to you the amount of people that walk in tense and agitated and angry, and we're like, "Hi, can I offer you a cup of Tulsi tea?" And they're like still crusty and angry. And then they go into the sauna and they start to soften. And then we guide them upstairs to the treatment room where they have a massage or a facial, whatever treatment they have. And they literally walk down those stairs like a completely different human. Like they're not the same. You're not the same person.
I mean, I've walked down those stairs and I know what it's like to feel like a completely different. I'm like, where am I? What planet is this?
Legit. People are like, we're like, welcome back. They're like literally they have problems like paying their bill because they're like, I can't. Like, yeah. So
yeah.
It's that, like you were right when you said it was a sanctuary. It's a little hidden sanctuary. It's a little gem. Like our tagline is like the calm amidst the chaos, because we're in this big concrete jungle of the city, Toronto. Like it's literally chaotic, and bikes and cars and honking and ambulances. And you come into ritual off the beaten path and you're just like, where am I? Where did I land?
Yeah, oh, okay. There's so much I want to say about this. First of all, I really do feel like pouring back into your own cup is not a luxury. I feel it's a big piece of leadership. I feel ritual, and even the way you speak of it, it's not just these treatments, it's recalibration. It is literally the place you go to come back inside of yourself.
Yeah.
And like you really do offer some seriously powerful treatments. This is not surface level BS. Like you're offering treatments that most people don't even realize their body is begging for until they experience them.
Yes.
And so I want to get really practical here, because the work that you're doing there it's not woo.
No,
energetic, it's deeply restorative.
it is.
So let me ask you this. When a burnt out woman in business or woman in general walks into ritual for the first time, what's the state they're usually in?
Like I mentioned, burnt out, frazzled, overwhelmed, disassociated from their bodies, like just going through the motions of like living. And we have a very high profile like demographic, like a lot of like
Yeah.
lawyers, doctors, people that work in hospitals, nurses,
High capacity, high achieving women.
entrepreneurs, like go, 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 the rat race. They come in there and they are pretty damn rattled. And some of them are gifted the experience. Some of them like have found us on TikTok or Instagram, not knowing what they're in for. Cause like a lot of people are like, I've never had a Brazilian lymphatic drainage massage before. Like, what is it? And we give them the
I
spiel.
want to talk about that though, because we kind of talked about like the contrast therapy, but
Yeah.
the Brazilian lymphatic drainage, like from your perspective, what's the real benefit beyond just like making you look good?
So if you feel heavy, bloated, puffy, disconnected from your body, a lot of that stems from the lymphatic system and the fascia. So the fascia is the connective tissue under the skin that if you're feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, it starts to tighten. And if you are in constant fight or flight, it holds on to cellular memories of like trauma and sadness and all the things. And once you're in the sauna, you get the circulatory system pumping, you start to release those toxins. You go into the cold plunge and you do like a nice cold dip, and then you're into that parasympathetic state. Then we take you upstairs and we do the Brazilian lymphatic. It's slow rhythmic movements to help the lymph start to flow. As your lymph starts to flow, you start to release the shit essentially that no longer serves you, and you start to feel lighter, tighter, less brain fog. You like I'm telling you, they walk down the stairs and they're just like, what just happened? Truthfully, I have a girlfriend, Jessica, and she struggled with stage 4 endometriosis, and she was in pain constantly. She had to have a hysterectomy at the age of 35, and she found no relief. She started to come to ritual on a every 3 weeks. She literally went down 2 pant sizes. She was bawling her eyes out because she was like, I have never been able to find relief holistically the way I have with this. We have pictures on our Instagram. Like if you look at it, you will not believe the dramatic difference. And it's not just the aesthetics, it's about what you're releasing throughout that treatment. It's a game changer. It's a game changer.
You also have the buccal. Did I say it
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
The intraoral facial massage, which sounds super bougie if you've never had it, or maybe it sounds weird, but essentially, I'll let you explain it, but somebody has their fingers in your mouth, which sounds weird, but tell us what's like actually
So
happening.
essentially it's an intraoral massage. So our therapists get you into that parasympathetic state. We don't just go for like, let me stick my fingers in your mouth. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. However, once we get in there, we put you into that relaxed, calming state. We do apply gloves and we go into your mouth intraorally to help with releasing the masseter muscle. It helps with collagen. It helps to sculpt and contour. So like people come down the stairs and they're like, cheekbones are up to here, their jawline is sculpted, and they're like, I don't know what just happened. Like I didn't know what to expect, but like literally they'll walk downstairs and they'll be like, oh my God, I didn't realize I can open my mouth this wide. So it's all about helping the nervous system regulate through that human connection. The
So
power of
everything
touch.
is all, it all sounds very somatic. Like
It
this
is.
sounds like a giant somatic experience, which
It is.
is, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally. It literally is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the woman who's listening to this and she's like, I don't have the time or money for this right now, what would you say to her, especially from the version of you who ignored those whispers?
Okay, so first and foremost, I'm just going to say if you do have benefits, this is like a complete disclaimer, you can claim it under benefits because I do have registered massage therapists that actually, so for the high achieving CEO that doesn't want to spend their own money, our RMTs are actually trained in the LCD method, lift contour detox to help. So, number one. Number two, if you don't take time to listen to your body's going to literally shut down. And then you're going to be paying the price in more ways than one.
Mm-hmm.
Honor thy body.
Yeah. What I love about Ritual is that you've created this space with such a beautiful energy and intention. Like the second you walk into your space, like you open the door, and I'm not exaggerating, you open the doors and you walk in and you can literally just feel it. And I wish I was closer to you because I would be there all the time.
I know. And you're not the first person that said that, Brenda. Like people walk in and they're just like, where am I? And I'm a little woo-ish.
Aren't we all?
Kind of ish. So I do a lot of like energy clearing in the space.
As you should.
Right? We're constantly burning sage, we're burning Palo Santo, we have Nang Chapa burning, meditation music. I have like, music playing in the background, even as like when we're closed, just to clear. And then I also have like my energy people that do like remote healing and clearing because it's kind of like a healing center, so we have to clear that energy, the stagnant
energetic hygiene. Yes,
that's what we call it. Yes. So that's why when people walk in there, they're just like, oh my God, I've never felt this way before, and here we are.
That's such a like interesting path. It's been an interesting journey to watch you grow and shift and change and create this space and like really step into your purpose. Like it's been really cool for me to witness it. So one of the reasons I really wanted you to be a part of the legacy series is because your story isn't just about reinvention. It's about integrity. It's about what happens when a woman finally stops abandoning herself. So, what would you say this journey has taught you about your identity and your leadership?
I've come into a place of like self-acceptance, and I've stepped into my power in the sense like I was always giving my power away to all the people and all the gurus, and I just came to a place where I was like, no more. Like, step into your power, show up as you are. People are going to love you. People are going to hate you. That's okay. And I realized that I'm one resilient mofo.
Yeah, you are.
and I have to say, Brenda, like you are and were a very, very pivotal person in my journey through it all. Like, thank you for everything that you've done, your guidance, your funny memes, our little inside jokes. I'm so happy that I have people like you who are true and genuine and sincere and not like trying to gouge you by the eyeballs. Like every session costs like $600. Like you make your work accessible, especially through your podcast and your masterclass and all the things. And I'm truly grateful for our friendship and our connection, and that we know each other for over 10 years.
I feel the same. And also thank you for not throat punching me on some of those days where
there were times.
I'm like, okay, listen.
Source wants me to tell you this.
But also I feel like we had some parallel thing because as funny as it sounds, and people don't understand this because with all the tools I have, you wouldn't think that I would give my power away, but I was. And so you and I kind of went through a weird parallel timeline where we had both been kind of giving our power away to.
I think, you know why, Brenda? I think we didn't really realize how powerful we truly are when we just sat there and actually gave ourselves the permission to show up as we are. And like,
100%.
We're like, who the fuck, you know, like that whole Marianne Williamson, like, who the fuck am I to be powerful? Like, who the fuck are you not to be powerful? Like, why are we giving our power away to people who are more fucked up than we are?
Well, and I would also add to that, I've learned a lot about narcissists over the past 10 years. And so I think growing up Gen X, I know narcissists existed, but I didn't recognize that. So I feel like a lot of the people that we did give the power away to, they were on some level narcissistic,
100.
personality disordered people.
Yeah.
And so it becomes very easy to look back now and go, oh, now I understand why I gave my power away, because I was literally being projected on that I didn't know enough. I wasn't good enough. So looking back, I can see it. Does it annoy me sometimes still? Yeah, obviously. But like, it was also a part of the journey. Neither one of us would be doing the things we're doing now had that not been a part of our journey. I joke that like the best part of my spiritual awakening was waking up from that.
See, for me, I think we were the perfect target because we're so empathic, because we're so willing to help.
Well, and we're kind, caring human beings who
And
want to
we
make an
wouldn't fathom,
impact.
totally, and we wouldn't fathom the shit that they put us through because we would never behave that way. So for us, we were easy targets because like we're just like open and receptive, and well, maybe she's right. Maybe I need to fucking tie a red ribbon around my arm and fucking chant at the moon 26 times during
Well,
Mercury retrograde. Like,
I think also because we have integrity, right? So when you have integrity and you're kind hearted, you don't think that people are not going to be like that. Okay, so let me ask you this. What impact do you hope that ritual beauty and wellness is going to have on women and the way that they build their businesses and their families and their lives?
I really hope that we become a sanctuary in the city for high achieving women who are ready to take their lives to the next level and start to pour into their own cups before they burn out and before they get to the point of emotional, physical exhaustion and overwhelm. Come and take that time for you to just truly be embodied, like in your body. So it's essentially beauty from the inside out. That's how I like to see ourselves, as beauty from the inside out.
I love that. Before we wrap this up, I have one last question for you that I ask everybody who's on my podcast. What does living a limitless life mean for you?
Knowing that sky's the limit and you are a resilient ass mofo and you can do whatever you put your mind to, truly, like truly living in alignment with your soul's purpose.
Girl, thank you for this conversation, for sharing the truth behind like what it really takes to rebuild from your soul instead of from survival instincts.
Right.
Your story is a really powerful reminder that your body is always speaking. And when you honor that, everything else starts to expand.
Limitless. You become limitless. It's so true.
Yeah. And
The
so
mind body connection is real.
Yeah, it really is. This is why I'm obsessed with what I do.
That's why I'm obsessed with you, because you listening to your podcast is a constant reminder. Like, yes, fuck, energy is real. Yes, managing your energy. Yes, 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 yes. So yes.
Yeah. And for anybody listening, you can book your contrast therapy and your Brazilian lymphatic drainage or your buccal.
Yeah, girl.
I have to point when I say that.
Yeah, you do.
I'm going to have all of the links in the show notes. And when you go there, if you go there because you heard it on this podcast, you need to tag me. You need to tag Ritual so we know that you went because you heard it here. But seriously, go get your asses in there. Seriously. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Thank us later.
Like, seriously. And until next time, here's to creating your limitless life.
Thank you, Brenda.